Hi everyone, welcome back to today's video. For today, we're going to be making a really cute little invitation. I purchased the So Inviting stamp set, which I'm pretty sure is just in the new mini catalog. I'm like 99.9% positive. And I was like, I feel like we've always needed this. This is something that's always been missing. And I know in today's world of being able to go online and create an invitation and have like a graphic designer put it together for you, I know that that's kind of what a lot of people do, because trust me, I do it myself. But I also think that there is something special about having a handwritten invitation or a handmade invitation. Especially if it's just like a last minute thing, like, oh, let's throw together this little party really quick. You can have this on hand and be able to jump in and create it. And I think it's really cute. So let's get into it. It's actually really easy to make also, which I think is fantastic. So let's jump into how we are going to create this. So for this one, like I said, we're using the So Inviting stamp set. I'm going to be using the You're Invited, To Celebrate, and then I did the Date, Time, Place, RSVP. There are a couple other stamps in here, so save the date, thank you. You can have a couple lines, a couple scrolls if you'd like. So this is a really great one, especially even just if you wanted to use it for the script sentiments. I think they're absolutely gorgeous and would absolutely recommend using them just even for that. For ink, we're going to be using Versamark today, and then we are going to be using our silver embossing powder. I'm also going to be using, this is the Petal Pink, what is this, striped ribbon. So really pretty ribbon. This is actually, ooh, there's a hair on me. This is actually really nice ribbon to work with. Again, hair. It's really easy to work with. So I'll show you how easy it is in a little bit. And then for paper today, so we have some Whisper White. We're going to be using, excuse me, this piece from the Parisian Blossom Specialty Designer Series paper. I don't know if you can see that or how well it picks up on the camera, but this is foiled paper. So it's absolutely gorgeous. That's why I wanted to use the silver embossing powder. This piece is cut at 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then we have our Whisper White here. So this is a piece of regular Whisper White, and this is cut at 3/4 of an inch, or I'm sorry, 3 1/4 of an inch by 3 3/4 of an inch. And then this is a piece of thick Whisper White. This is going to be our base, and this is cut at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so to start making this card, I'm going to go ahead and use my Stamparatus for today for a couple reasons. One, because I am using 3 different stamp sets. It's just, or I'm sorry, 3 different stamps. It's just going to be easier for me to put them all on the block or on the plate and then stamp them all at once. The second main reason is if you're making some kind of invitation, you're going to be churning through a lot over and over again. And so it's just a lot easier to just keep doing this motion versus having to place the block every single time. I will tell you, it took me a couple minutes to get the stamps placed how I wanted them. But after that, it's pretty easy. You can just crank through them. Once you get it placed once, you should have everything good to go. So I'm going to take my smaller piece of Whisper White. So this is, again, regular Whisper White. And what I'm going to do is, because I'm lining the paper flush to this edge here, but I'm not lining it flush to this edge here. That's just because of my stamp placement. So you could change it up. I just felt like it wasn't that big of a deal for me to have to play around with the placement just a smidge. So I'm just kind of gently pressing it, or gently pulling it down. I'm not pressing the stamp down. I'm just letting it hover so I can check to see if my spacing is right, how I want it, and it is. So I'm going to hold my piece of paper here, and I'm going to put my magnets down. And I actually shouldn't have turned this because it's going to be a little more difficult for me to do it this way. And then I'm going to put this magnet right here in this little groove right here. It fits really nicely there. Now I'm going to take my Versamark, and I'm going to stamp. I was going to say I'm going to stamp this up. That's not what I meant. I'm going to ink this guy up. And honestly, this is so easy. I think once you do it once or twice, you'll realize how easy it actually is. You could crank these out super quick. And I think with the Designer Series paper also, you can take Designer Series paper or paper from Michael's or Hobby Lobby or wherever you get your specialty papers from. And I'm just looking really fast to make sure that this stamp got ink everywhere. If not, because I'm using my Stamparatus, I could ink it up again and go again, but I think I am good. But what I was going to say is if you have like a baby, you're throwing a baby shower for someone, right? And they have a very specific theme in mind. You guys go and get all the decorations and stuff. Most of the time you can find like scrapbook paper that's very close to party supplies and designs that you might be going for, and it's easier to do that and to match designs and themes and stuff than having to go online and look at some pre-made invitations. So that's also something, if you're having a hard time finding the right thing online, this may be another option so that you have a little bit more play, because you're really just talking about finding some scrapbooking paper to use as the background. So anyway, I stamped that in Versamark, and then I just put my silver embossing powder over it. I'm going to set that off to the side for a second so I can clean up my desk before we heat set this bad boy. All in all, I felt like this is a stamp set that we always should have had, because it is kind of that staple. Excuse me. I know that a lot of people buy invitations and things like that online now, which is probably why there's not... it hasn't been a super big need before, but like I said, I personally really, really like handmade invitations, handmade thank you cards. I think it just adds a little something extra to it, and they're really, really easy to do. So I'm going to take my heat tool and I'm going to heat set this really quickly. Actually, let me grab my paintbrush. I see a couple of stray things that I want to get rid of. There, now I think we're good. Okay, now I'm going to heat set it. Perfect. And I find that this one heat sets really, really nicely. It's not hard to work with. It actually turns out really, really nice every single time. So now it's kind of a matter of putting everything together. So I'm going to take my piece of thick Whisper White and my Designer Series paper, and I'm going to put these two guys together. Just like so, and again, just lining this up. The reason that I used the Whisper White, there were a couple reasons actually. So I think having a nice matting behind the Designer Series paper gives it a really nice, pretty, finished, professional looking look to it, but it also gives it some strength, right? So if I just take a piece of Designer Series paper, it's a little flimsy, right? This is not flimsy. It feels really nice in your hands. And then I'm just going to take the little piece that we just embossed, and we're going to stick this guy on here also. So I'm just kind of eyeballing where I think center placement would be. It doesn't have to be perfect. Close enough is good enough. Just like so. And then you could absolutely leave it at this, where I think it looks really nice to kind of take it up one notch. And now I've lost my ribbon. I feel like I am losing everything today. Oh, it's right here. Haha. I'm going to take a piece of ribbon and I'm just going to tie a nice pretty little bow. Like I was saying, this ribbon is really, really, really easy to work with, like so easy to work with. I am not a great bow tire, and I can pretty much tie the perfect bow that I want with this every single time. So, and I like my little loops because I'm working with a smaller kind of, not a smaller card necessarily, but, ooh, that's not, there we go, that looks better. I don't want my bow to be too large and overpowering, so I'm going to make it pretty tiny. So you just keep pulling the tails until you get what you kind of are looking for. Just like that. I think that looks good to me. So I'm actually going to cut the tails here. Just like so. Then I'm going to use a glue dot and my little poker tool, and I'm going to roll the glue dot just like so. And which side is the pretty side of my bow? This side. So I'm going to stick that down right there. And then I'm going to put it right here at the top of my piece of Whisper White. And there you have it. Super, super cute. So I also wanted to show you, just by changing the bow and the designer series paper, you can get a totally different look. Everything else, excuse me, is exactly the same. The only thing I did was I used a different piece of designer series paper, and I used, this is the Whisper White crinkled seam binding ribbon to create a little bow at the top. So doing the exact same thing, you can get two really different looks, and I think they're both gorgeous. But this is what I mean by you can take a very simple template and make it into anything you could really want. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. As always, you can get any of these products just by going to littlemooncreation.stampinup.net, or you can go to littlemooncreation.com or click the first link in the description below, which will take you to my website and show you all kinds of fun stuff that I have happening over there. So I hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!